having won a couple of tournaments already this year, Delray Beach and Memphis, and a semi-final in Doha to boot, and also reached the 4th round in the Australian Open. So he must be seeing the ball the size of a football. Agassi, of course, didn't play particularly well in his previous match against Paul Goldstein, the 8th seed, winning that one 6-4, 4-6, 6-2. A little bit of gamesmanship in the 3rd set helped his cause. It's been a rusty start to this encounter too. 7 unforced errors already, and he's been complaining about not getting any feel on the ball. He usually likes to dictate play from the back and run the opposition ragged. You've got to be able to control the ball in order to do just that. That's another unforced error, and Haas with an early opportunity. First break point of the match, either competitor.
He saw that he had his opponent out of position, and he jumped on him right away, taking advantage of a short ball.
It's a late call from a linesperson, confirmed by Mohamed Liani.
Well, Jason, we just saw a match where a man was in awe of his opponent, that meaning Davydenko against Safin, and Davydenko couldn't do it because just didn't believe that he should beat Safin. Here's a different story. Haas knows he can beat Agassi. I don't believe he is in awe of him, and Haas is actually favored in this match, in my opinion.
Well, there is a little bit of history between these two. They've met on 9 previous occasions. Agassi's won 6 of those, including the last 2 times they met in 2004 in Toronto and Stockholm. At the end of the year, Agassi winning both encounters, although they were very tight. But I'm inclined to agree with you, Doug. I think there's no doubt about the fact Haas is the favourite here. He's the form horse coming into this match. Cahill of Australia, courtside as ever when Agassi's performing. Relatively simple forehand, probably just trying to do a little too much with it. Good game to win as far as Agassi is concerned. concerned, saving break point along the way to get back on level terms.
2 games off. Love 15. Love 13.
Haas under a little bit of pressure here. He's been working with Thomas Hogstead for a number of months now and seems to be entirely successful. There's a little bit of a let-off for the German. Agassi will be distraught with his inability to get that return in play. Mighty close in terms of the sideline, but just a little deep over the baseline. It's a shot that has to work well for Agassi, though. Loves to put the opposition under pressure by changing direction on the ball, particularly off that backhand. Unforced error count is creeping dangerously high for the American. 13 in total now. Well, Agassi with a half chance there. But still no breaks of serve separating these two. The German leads 3-2. Fans still streaming in for the evening session. Treated to a match that we're all looking forward to. Many hoping that Agassi will be able to perform well enough to make it a meaningful contest.
Please, thank you.
Terrific response from Agassi, initially under pressure from the return.
But a nice short hop off the backhand. Just a little flinch. No backswing, everything forward motion.
Net second serve.
Agassi can be exploited in terms of his movements along the baseline.
Well, particularly to the forehand side. You go to the backhand, you open up the forehand, and then he has trouble not only covering the forehand, but going back to the forehand. And that's what Goldstein was able to do when he got ahead yesterday in the match.
13-15.
Haas will need to do better on the returns. Agassi only generating 100 miles an hour on that last delivery. Haas will fully expect to make the majority of returns when that's the case. I think Agassi will realise that he needs to go for a few second serves. The German standing at the court, threatening to take the ball on. That's a good response to the pressure situation. Signs are good as far as the Americans concerned, starting to hit the ball pretty sweetly now.
3 games off.
4 aces in total in his first 3 service games bode well.
It's almost though he's got a new lease on life tonight, because yesterday he was so close to being eliminated. So many things went against him, as well as his attitude out there. So being able to get through that match, it's almost like a cat having 9 lives. He's starting to use up some of those lives, comes into this match fresh. And that's the shot we're talking about. The forehand on the run, having to cover a lot of court, just becomes more difficult for Agassi at this stage of his career.
Gil Race there as well, the long-time fitness trainer for Agassi, looking very smart today. Must be on a promise a little later. Made the distance. Good tactic from Agassi. Executed it well. Looks a little nervous to me, Haas.
15 on.
I think he'll realise that many people expect him to win this match. And Agassi seems to be hitting the ball a little better today.
Yeah, typically Haas, when they've met, has been the big underdog. So it does pose a different psychological situation for Haas.
Can't buy a first serve at the moment. Seventh unforced error. And the signs of tension are there for all to see. Choice of shot for the approach.
A nervous choice. from Haas. When you're nervous, you make
15,
bad decisions.
14.
This approach wrong and short into Agassi's backhand. It's cannon fodder for Agassi.
Coming in cross court always presents the player who's attempting to pass with an awful lot of options. 2 break points for the former world number 1. Super shot.
Great change of direction from Haas.
30,
He hadn't
14.
hit hardly any winners early in this match. But they have come off the backhand when he's executed.
Still got a little work here to do. Stay in this service game.
Okay, Agassi.
So good length on the forehand, draws the air from Haas. Agassi the first to manufacture a break of serve. Former champion leads 4 games to 3. So it's been a good start to the match. And Agassi, and I think he probably prefers to come into these encounters as the underdog. He can open his shoulders, but he sets himself lofty standards. Always puts the maximum amount of pressure on himself. That's why he's promised that this year he'll only compete when fully fit. That's why he's chosen to pass up the clay court season in Europe this year, because he feels that physically he simply can't do it anymore and wants to make sure that he's fit and ready to compete on the grass in the summer. Which means that he's only got a couple of events between now and then, both here and in Miami. And that poses an interesting conundrum for Agassi. What does he do in that spare time between the end of Miami and the beginning of any events that he chooses to play on the grass before Wimbledon? Because that's an awful long time not to be competing.
Well, the real problem that it poses is really not just for Agassi, but for the United States as well, because the United States has a match coming up against Chile in 4 weeks down here, and Agassi probably would like to play in that match, but Patrick McEnroe is going to have to make a decision what's best for the team. Only so many guys can play. Roddick's going to play. Certainly Blake is in great form. The Bryan brothers are going to play. So now what does he do with Agassi? Agassi wants to play. My decision would be Agassi shouldn't play on that team. And the reason I make that choice is because I just don't think it's best for the team. You have guys that are committed to playing all year long from the beginning. Roddick, Blake, the Bryans. Now Agassi could throw, well, a thorn into that decision making. If he all of a sudden decides he's going to play, that affects the spirit of the team, and everyone's feeling like how committed they all are compared to someone like Agassi.
Agassi, I think, thought that ball might have been wide.
15-14.
Haas was short. But TMI disagrees with the German and agrees with the American. Of course, in Miami, Agassi could challenge that call, and he'd have been right in that occasion. It's one saved. reverse. A beautiful backhand. Didn't go hard. Not a lot of spin on the ball, but it was played quite superbly. Right shot at the right time, getting the best result for the American. Good open stance. Had to rotate the upper body whilst trying to regain his balance. Haas expecting that ball to go cross court, so he was nowhere to be seen.
What a shame to play such a good point to get back to even in this game and then followed up by the double fault. Causing concern. Once again, Agassi employing the strategy, serving into the Haas forehand, getting a fairly weak return and then moving forward from there.
It's not often you see Agassi come into the net on big points. Doesn't volley that well.
And 40 seconds.
But when playing well, the serve is an underrated part of his game. 119 miles an hour. Inch perfect in terms of accuracy. Good combination. Exposing that lack of mobility around the baseline.
And it just shows what happens when Agassi's ball drops short. He's in big trouble. He's not able to run down that kind of ball.
It's an intelligent shot from Haas. I think he's got to try and incorporate that into his game plan when Agassi's trying to trade off the forehand. If Haas can add a little bit of topspin, drop it short, get Agassi out of court, it's going to pay big dividends for him.
Yeah, it's not about the power of the Haas forehand. It's about the angle that he can create to really move Agassi to that side and out of his comfort zone.
That's earned the German another break point. Once more, a well-aimed serve to Agassi's rescue. Haas 0 for 5 now in terms of break points. He's got to start taking advantage of all of these chances that he's managing to create before it's too late.
And 40 Agassi.
Let's see what TMI has to say. Just long. A matter of millimeters.
Agassi.
Agassi with an opportunity to move within 4 points of wrapping up this opening set. Disgusted with his inability to not do more with a relatively simple shot. Made the distance easily enough and had plenty of court to hit into. I like the look at the umpire. How was it? How was it? Long. Damn it. So, Agassi. 5-3. First set.
Love 15.
You know, the one thing that can really hurt Haas in this match is if he loses his cool. And right now that seems to be happening. Agassi will thrive on that.
15.
Well, he's got to start serving a little better, Haas. He's currently languishing in the low 30s in terms of his first serve percentage. It's effective when it goes in, but 35% simply not going to get the job done against Agassi.
13, 15.
Just like you asked for.
It's just so much easier then not only to earn cheap points, as he did on that occasion, but to dominate the point thereafter. Agassi 2 points away, taking a one-set lead.
Well, when they played in Los Angeles 2 years ago, Agassi jumped off to a 5-1 lead in the opening set. Haas came back to win that set, hoping for a little bit of deja vu all over again.
Agassi was standing well inside the baseline, and that puts a lot of pressure on the server.
Particularly when the ball hits the line.
And I think Haas saw that skid off the line, as the ball tends to do on these courts, and umpire not intervening. Moving dangerously.
That time Haas being a little bit more patient when he runs down the ball, hitting the top of the net. He's had a couple of these in the match where he hasn't reacted very well, pressed, but this time the ball was high enough that he could flick it. He's more comfortable with the topspin shot, even though that was a bit awkward to look at.
Agassi opening his shoulders, but Haas managing to hold serve nonetheless. Agassi, though, has the advantage of that break of serve. 5-4, he leads. A moment of truth for Agassi, who, to be honest, looked relatively comfortable, leading by a set and a break against Paul Goldstein yesterday. And then the wheels came off and he got in a real dogfight. Came through in the end, but it's been so far so good again this evening. There's been a lot of good things to admire in this opening set from the American. This is the moment of truth. Needs another really solid service game here, and that will give his confidence a real boost if he's successful in serving out for the set.
Love 15.
It's a rather inauspicious start. Perfect length. What little Haas could do about that.
That was a crazy shot.
13-15.
Seems like the pressure really getting to Haas, having to go for such a difficult shot instead of trying to play and construct the point properly.
Never really moved the feet enough when attempting to take that return relatively early.
14-15.
Agassi, after 48 minutes of action in this opening set, stands at set point. It's just one error, really, of his game that he will be a little disgruntled with. 22 unforced errors now. Many of those from the back of the court. 12 on the forehand and 8 from the backhand.
What angle generated by Haas. Really swiping below that ball, coming up high and brushing it, creating that extreme angle. Agassi had chances to go at that point, particularly off of a mishit return, and elected not to go forward and played it safe, paid the penalty.
Well, that's a poor game. Really hurt himself. Too many unforced errors. Perhaps pressing a little too much. Hasn't played that many matches of late. A little tense, a little nervous. That's what happens. Haas didn't really do that much in order to break and get back on level terms.
And he saved 2 set points. And one of those with that big backhand. But Agassi pretty much gifted that game away. And you know, Jason, if Haas is able to come back and win this set, based on what happened to Agassi yesterday, he's going to be very upset because he doesn't like letting leads slip away. And his patience level at this stage of his career isn't what it once was.
Enforced errors killing the American at the moment. Really good service game from the German. He kept his composure well. Now it's Haas, who stands just 4 points away from wrapping up this opening set.